Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our Titans Season 2 Thoughts video. I just finished watching the second season of Titans on Netflix, and I'm just going to be sharing my general thoughts. So, Titans, the DC Universe show, has been on DC Universe for the last couple months, but has finally been released on Netflix for the rest of us outside of the US. And so I finally got to watching it this weekend, and this second season follows, the Titans again as they get into more trouble with more enemies, and we meet some new ones, we meet some old ones. They come together, they fight, they break apart, they come back together, they fight some different enemies, some enemies fight them, and it's a season of Titans. And I enjoyed this season overall a lot. I am going to be getting into a few spoilers for it, so if you haven't seen it, you might want to cut out now. But yeah, so this season we we start off right where we left off in the last season, and I think was because the first episode this season was originally actually supposed to be the last episode of the first season, and I think they decided to switch that up at the last minute, if I remember reading that correctly. That being said, we do pick up right where we left off. Trigon's, messing with all of Rachel's friends, the Titans, and Rachel's trying to resist and all that stuff so that she can save the world. And so yeah, that's where we start off this season, and I thought we were going to spend a little more time with Trigon. He seemed like a bigger deal considering how much we built him up last season, and then again, spoilers, he's gone in the first episode or the first couple episodes, and they get rid of him really quickly, which I was like, oh, okay, I thought we were going to spend a little more time with him. That being said, it was all right. I really enjoyed that they went full out with him. He looked like a demon, he did look like a demon straight from hell, 4 eyes, the horns and everything, and I love that that's where we are at with DC, is that they're finally not doing these kind of pretty much the Smallvilling of things, where back when we had Smallville, they like to water some of the superhero stuff down a little bit, not a lot, but they would water it a little bit down. And so I like that they're like, no, he's a demon straight from hell. We're gonna have a CGI guy walking across with hooves and stuff like that. So that was a fun way to just kind of start off this season, kind of get me right back into it, considering it's been a year since I've seen the first season, and I've only seen little bits and clips of this second season while it was airing on DCEU, or premiering on DCEU, not EU, DCU, the DC Universe app. And so I was pretty okay, I thought we were going to follow Trigon, and then he's gone, but it gave me this kind of good hope for okay, well, where are we going to go from here? And they did a great job of jumping into the comic bookness of that, and so it gave me faith right off the bat. And that then we get introduced to a few other villains in this season with Dr. Light, and then who ends up working for Deathstroke, which was a really fun part of this season, spending a lot of time investigating the character, or learning more about Deathstroke's character than we already have in the different DC shows already. But I did enjoy diving a little bit more into that, being introduced to a bunch of different new characters like Rose, Deathstroke's daughter, and she's also known as Ravager, I learned at the end of the very end in the subtitles. And so that was she was a fun character to be introduced to. Their storyline throughout it was kind of I don't want to say predictable, but it wasn't anything didn't blow me away, but it was still enjoyable. I liked it. I liked pretty much Deathstroke's story overall with everything, very it felt accurate to what I know about the character. We also meet our Bruce Wayne in this one, which I really enjoyed. The actor they chose for him from Game of Thrones and other things. I thought he did a pretty good job. There was a few times I felt his American accent was a little, I was like, okay, it sounded slightly off to me, but that's just me sometimes. I think too much about people's voices. I only got him showing up a lot more in this season than I thought, which I really enjoyed. I like that we get this, again, spoilers, Bruce acting as kind of the subconscious of Dick Grayson in this season, and so I really enjoyed that. It was something I wasn't expecting as much as it is. Kind of not that surprising once you make that kind of, you're like, yeah, you imagine Batman, but I like that they leaned into that this season, and they're like, yeah, we hired a Bruce Wayne, we're gonna use him a bunch. And so I really enjoyed that they made use of the actor who they brought in I wish I'd looked up his name, I forget it now, but I really enjoyed that they made use of Bruce Wayne and exploring that relationship between Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne, now that they're adults, now that they're past the him being a teenager, being young and kind of, I don't want to say foolhardy, but being a little more naive than he is now, and having a little more hindsight and retrospect on him and his upbringing by Bruce. So I really enjoyed that. Another character we met in this season was Connor, aka Superboy, and his dog Crypto, and they were great. There's not much else to say about them, just because we didn't spend a whole lot of time with them, because he is a clone, which I enjoyed actually that bit. Him being a clone, well, he's always usually a clone, I think, but him being a clone of Lex Luthor and Superman, I like that they stuck with that. I think that's from the comics, or at least one of the many iterations of this character. But I enjoyed that story, investigating his character a little more. I would have liked to spend a little more time. He got sidelined for a chunk of this season, which makes sense. He's Superboy, aka he's a Superman character, so he's a little overpowered in the context of having like a Robins and our Titans who we mostly follow, even though a few of them are pretty powerful, Rachel and Starfire and stuff. So the fact that he was sidelined, I understood a little bit, but it would have still been more fun to get a little bit more time with him. That being said, the time we did spend him with was really great. There was one of the first action scenes we see with him, protecting actually Lex Luthor's father at a farmhouse. Just seeing him smash through all these LexCorp Cadmus security forces coming to try and take him, and just seeing that they did a great job with those effects. That they brought down this slow-mo of him just shoving people through walls and a bunch of different things, just really showing us the Superman abilities, like just putting them on full display. And so I really enjoyed that about this season. And then Crypto was awesome. He flew, and that was cool. I wish I had a Crypto. We briefly met Aqualad / Garth. We learned what happened to him and what led to the original Titans breaking up. So I really enjoyed that. We spent a bunch of time with that, and that this season did this interesting storytelling method of having different episodes, kind of focusing fully on different stories. So we got a full episode where we were just following the original Titans, and we got another episode where we were learning a little bit more about each character. So I really enjoyed that, and that we kind of dove more into what happened with the original Titans, why there's this tension between them, and why Deathstroke wouldn't want there to be a new set of Titans, or for Dick to start recruiting new Titans. So I really enjoyed the overall kind of story behind this season, and how they kind of interwove these kind of different things, which ended up always being connected because Deathstroke's really smart. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed that. I like that we got the Nightwing introduction, and the guy who gave him the suit, Stu the Shoemaker. That guy was delightful. I like that he was just so upset that Dick burned his Robin suit, and just took it so offensively, and it was just such a small little detail, because they could have just had they didn't have to add this scene of having introducing us to the guy who makes all their different costumes and armor and equipment and stuff, but they did, and that was fun. And I really enjoyed the way they went about it, having this old shoemaker looking place, and the shoemaker being very hurt that Dick had ruined his last pair of shoes. It was just a really fun scene. Just such a little scene, but really kind of fun adding to it. I also like that we see a little bit of an origin for where Nightwing kind of got the idea for the name. I don't love that he put himself in prison. That part felt a little like, wait, didn't you guys do this with Arrow too? Did you guys put everybody in prison these seasons? So besides that, but it also did make sense in wanting to, pay penance for what had happened throughout the season and stuff. But that part I was like, in prison, another one, DC? Okay, I think you guys need to, did you guys, that's what it was. That's one thing I didn't think of. They paid for a prison set, and they were just like, we're going to make as much use out of this as we can. So that makes sense, because the Flash last season had a couple episodes in prison. We had a whole bunch of Arrow in prison, and now we got some Titans, and we got Dick in prison. So DC, I'm learning what you're doing. But that being said, I still enjoyed it. This overall season, I really enjoyed it. It was really great action in this season. We saw some really cool fights with Deathstroke and the Titans, Dick versus Deathstroke, Donna versus Deathstroke, and then we, at the end, after, by the time we get to the end of the story, because part of having Connor sideline leads to him being brainwashed at the end, and then the Titans having to fight Connor, which made sense. If you're going to have the Superman guy around and you're not having him fight with the heroes throughout the season, you can have him as potentially be the bad guy for a little bit, being used by the bad guys. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the action this season, particularly with around Connor and with Deathstroke overall. So they were really great additions and fun add-ons into this season. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this second season. I just want more. This is one of those few Netflix series where I'm like, wait, why couldn't you guys give me 30 episodes? Why is this the one DC show that doesn't get 20 episodes every season? But that's just my own thing where I just want more and more superhero stuff all the time. But yeah, that being said, that's all my thoughts on the second season of Titans. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if you're going to be if you've checked out the second season of Titans and what your thoughts on it were. Thanks again for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you already, and have a good one.